Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Want to know what King Tut and the financial world have in common? Well, apparently, neither of them got the memo. You can't take it with you.
Welcome to the Worry-Free Retirement with best-selling author and fiduciary Tony Walker.
If you got it, you don't need it. If you need it, you don't got it. You don't get it, shame on you. Funny, funny, funny what money can do. Them that have it, get more of it. The less they need it, the more they love it. And it sticks to them like glue. Funny, funny, funny what money can do.
Tutankhamun, or better known as King Tut, was a young Egyptian pharaoh with a very brief reign. Gaining the throne in 1342 BC as a 9-year-old, King Tut died 9 years later, ending his kingdom at the ripe young age of 18. And while his life was short-lived, his burial granted him a legacy as one of the greatest archaeological finds in human history when in 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter discovered King Tut's tomb. The tomb, which not only included King Tut, but many of his most valuable possessions, has since attracted millions and millions of curious onlookers to this unusual exhibit. Which begs the question, why in blue blazes would King Tut try to take it with him? And what does this take it with me strategy have to do with the financial world? Well, welcome, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement. And yes, I am that little man in the sweater vest, financial archaeologist and fiduciary, Tony Walker. And not to be outdone by Howard Carter's discovery of King Tut's tomb, we at Worry-Free Productions have done a little bit of digging around ourselves, and we've uncovered kind of my little favorite pharaoh, America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orander. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
You didn't know you were my favorite, also not financial sidekick, but favorite pharaoh.
I wonder what my pharaoh name would be.
Why don't you think about that a minute?
All right.
Get back to us later. Okay, we are recording this show, folks, by the way, on December 2nd, 2020. You have a good Thanksgiving, Aaron?
Yes, I did. How about yourself?
Actually, it was excellent, excellent. Did your 6'4" brother show up, and did you all
No,
measure?
actually, they decided not to come with all the COVID regulations that got stipulated and everything. They decided to just stay home.
Darn, I wanted to get a picture of you all standing side by side to see if he's really 6'4", but, well, I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to see him. Okay, we're talking about King Tut. I'll have to admit, quite frankly, you know, the thing that comes to my mind when I think of King Tut, you're going to think this is hilarious, because I think we're going to do this for the TV show later.
Okay, what's that?
Steve Martin's impersonation on Saturday Night Live. Remember the song King Tut? And
yeah.
Wasn't that awesome?
King Tut.
Now, we got a little surprise for you, folks. If you watch the television show, The Worry-Free Retirement, that's on 7 different stations throughout Kentucky. We're going to try to talk Aaron into doing a little Steve Martin impersonation. So, Aaron, I know you don't know about this yet, but hang in there, buddy. It'll all be fine.
All right, I'm with you.
Okay, so what do you know about, real briefly, King Tut or this exhibit?
Well, like I said, the main thing I remember is that, he was referred to, I think, as the Boy King or whatever. Yeah, he was 9 years old when he took the throne, and that is crazy to me. My son, Preston, is 10 years old, and it's like, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine if you were in charge of anything.
He's not in charge of your household? My 9-year-old at the time thought he was.
No, he can't even keep his room clean. Come on now.
Well, I don't know. I wonder if it was messy. Maybe that was it. King Tut instead of, maybe he was a hoarder. Well,
yeah, maybe.
This is starting to make sense because, some people just can't get rid of stuff, Aaron, so maybe he just figured I'll take it with me that way. Well, folks, all kidding aside, there is a real concern I have for savers out there. I haven't been around as long as King Tut, but I've been doing this for 36 years. In this field, that's a long time. And in meeting in person with over 15,000 savers over these past 36 years, my biggest concern, actually I'm going to share an archaeological discovery of my own, but my biggest concern, Aaron, is people, they don't want to admit this, but I really do think, or at least they forget, but they think they can take it with them. Do you You ever seen that show, Strange Inheritance? She always says
Yes.
that at the end.
Yes.
You really can't take it with you. And I think what happens, Aaron, from a retirement planning standpoint, so folks, if this is the first time you've ever heard the Worry-Free Retirement, this is a retirement planning show. As I like to emphasize, we're not money managers, we're not wealth managers, we're not trying to grow and risk your money at all costs. Our job with this unique proprietary process we use called the Worry-Free Retirement is to help you use and enjoy this money while you still can. So my concern is many of you are not, and I don't know if it, all kidding aside again, if you think you're going to live forever, but you know, folks, you've got to get a game plan in place and working with a fiduciary who is trying to get your money back, not stockpile it forever. We call this the protection versus the preservation stage. So it's a unique balance, Aaron, and you know we do this every day in our office, and sometimes it's challenging depending on one's circumstances, but what we have to do, the art of the work that I do is we got to protect your money because we don't want you to run out. That makes sense, right? We can't be just flipping with it or throw it all in the stock market and hope for the best. But we also have to be a little careful about trying to preserve too much of it. You know, the old generation, many of these unfortunately have passed away, but when you think of the greatest generation, some of you listening, you'll relate to this, especially you're probably thinking about your mom and dads. Many of those people have gone through or went through the Great Depression, right?
Right.
So what happened was they would not spend money. So for fear of running out, because they saw what happens when you run out of money, and then what would happen is their heirs, sons and daughters, when these people finally passed away, most of them would be shocked at how much money mom and dad had. So number one, mom and dad never talked about money. And number two, they tried to preserve it and stockpile it because of this fear of running out. So folks, that's the good news. First of all, we have products in place. We mainly use fixed annuities for this that can guarantee you won't run out of money. That's called mailbox money. I'll be talking about this in a minute. And then we also have our Charles Schwab platform that can make sure you have use of your money, enjoyment of the money, and if you want to try to grow it, a little bit of it, and put a little bit at risk, that's fine too. So when we come back, I'm going to share with you how this whole thing got started, who's behind what I call the King Tut syndrome, and why King Tut Financial is alive and well, and how you better understand the rules of his game. You're listening to the Worry-Free Retirement. I'm Tony Walker. I'll be right back. Warning, a licensed insurance agent with no prior knowledge of annuities can legally toss your 401k into an annuity. Don't make that mistake. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com before ever purchasing an annuity.
The stock market at my age? You gotta be kidding. I need to put my money someplace where it's safe.
Investing all of your money in the stock market can be pretty scary stuff, which is why I created the Worry-Free Split IRA concept, a concept that allows you to invest in the stock market without the fear of running out of money. Learn more about the Split IRA concept and how to safeguard more of your money by logging on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. It is estimated that each day over 10,000 people will turn 65, which means a lot of advisors selling a lot of annuities. Don't get stuck in the wrong annuity. Get a second opinion from TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. I am Tony Walker, and joined with us is America's favorite financial sidekick in Pharaoh, Mr. Aaron Orander. Aaron, you probably are wondering what's sitting over here on my desk.
I don't know. Looks like you're hoarding some rice over there or something.
And folks, I know through the magic of radio you can't see this, but basically sitting on my desk is a box. It says on there 72-hour emergency meal kit and then a box of minute rice. Let me explain. Okay, Aaron? All right. Years ago, one of my clients who had concerns, and I'm not making fun of this at all, it's just they had concerns over a future food shortage and encouraged me that I should be stockpiling food in case all heck broke loose in this country. I mean, you realize
I've heard
and
of
it
that
could happen.
before. Yeah.
And there are people that will stockpile things. And again, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I probably should take them up on it. But anyway, we started talking about this, and I said, well, what type of food is it? Now, keep in mind, when they said store food for the future, and when I'm thinking of calamities, emergencies, I'm thinking somebody had food, maybe it's been invented since this time. This was years ago when I got this box of food that would last forever. That's what you would assume, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like King Tut.
Right.
That'd be, we ought to create a food. Wait a minute, Aaron, I'm getting a thought here. Now let's not share it on the air. I don't want anybody to steal this idea of King Tut. We got King Tut Financial. Now we're going to have King Tut Food Service riding down the road. All right. So anyway, so they give me this box of food, and I thought, well, that's really cool. Thank you. Put it down in the basement. We were getting ready to work on this show. The show's thought is on storage, stockpiling, preservation. So I grab it out. Okay. Now again, this was well over 10 years ago. And I'm looking at it kind of proud, looking at it. It's kind of cool, really. It says Mountain House Emergency Meal Kit. Be prepared for any emergency. Okay, it's fine. Serves adults for 3 days. So I assume you'd break this open, you got to eat it. This has got chicken teriyaki, beef stroganoff. Sounds pretty good. You want to? But I don't know. We better break, now. I'm almost wanting to break it open because guess what the expiration date is?
What, it doesn't last forever?
No.
No?
In fact, this is expired. It expired on May 2018.
Oh, okay.
So maybe we better keep this hermetically sealed. Now, of course, knowing me, do you know how much I love minute rice? I love minute rice.
I did not know you loved minute rice.
Good salmon on the grill, little minute rice.
I know what you're getting for Christmas. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It's better than the socks you got me last year. Just give me a bunch.
I'm going to get you a 10-year supply of minute rice, all right?
Kind of like the Jelly of the Month Club. All right. So on the minute rice, I'm thinking, wait a minute. Minute rice, surely that would store up forever. And I look on this, let me find the expiration date. Yeah, this says you got to use this. At least it's August 21st of 2022.
You got a little time.
But the point is, folks, when you think of food, all right, as much as we try to store it or preserve it, food, is going to surprise you, is a lot like money. In the world of economics, there is something called the law of diminishing returns. And really, in layman's terms, what that means is, and this is going to sound weird, the longer you keep money, the longer you stockpile it. In fact, the Bible refers to this. Jesus talked about this, laying up for yourselves treasures on earth. Remember what he said would do? Moth would eat away, rust would eat away.
Rust will destroy.
Your money, this happens, folks. I'm telling you. You cannot preserve this stuff. Now, this leads to an interesting article. I think you or Derek stumbled across this. Of course, we got this Live Well, Die Broke theme going on, the best-selling book, all that good stuff. This article came out recently. It says, the billionaire who wanted to die broke is now officially broke. Did you see this article? Was this you that got it to me? This is really wild. What happened was this gentleman, and I mean, he is a true billionaire. His name's Chuck Feeney. He co-founded the retail giant Duty Free Shoppers. And he decided, as of the date of this was written, this is a Forbes article by Steve Bertinoni or something like that. Anyway, at the time this was written, he was 89, but he had developed just billions of dollars, and he loved giving money away. And he decided at age 82, I believe is when he decided to give it away, just give it all away. Now, he did keep $2 million, so he didn't really, in my eyes, die broke. Would you say having $2 million, you're broke?
No.
Now, that's where money's really relative.
In Pharaoh
folks.
Aaron's world, $2 million would be plenty.
But, you got to remember, this guy was a billionaire. Oh, I've got to tell you, I remember that story I told you. I got invited once to a conference at the Ocean Reef Resort.
Yes.
Down near Key Largo, Florida. Golly. So I'm in the side of this place, and I'm looking around, and I mean big ocean vessels. I don't even know what you call them. These were 40, 50. One of them was 100 foot. I mean, the things you see on TV sometimes in these, it's like, oh, my gosh. So I'm getting the feel that the people that are at the Ocean Reef Resort have got money. In fact, I asked one of the people that work there, I said, these people seem to have all kinds of money. This is crazy. And his comment was hilarious. He goes, yeah, around here we like to say this is where the billionaires go to get away from the millionaires. I thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, so what Mr. Feeney did, folks, was he gave it away. And it was interesting. You know what he said here, Aaron? He said, I learned a lot about this as I watched people handle the money on my watch. And that's what we're kind of talking about with the Live Well, Die Broke philosophy, folks. And here's the thing. King Tut Financial does not want you to think about using and enjoying your money. King Tut Financial is the financial world. And let's kind of imagine the four main pillars. If you can imagine a big tomb with pillars, for instance, a very safe and secure building. If we think about government buildings, they do look very secure, right? Strongholds. Fort Knox, right? Okay, that's kind of
We've
a
got
government.
security guards at the
Everywhere.
doors.
Banks are usually very large, insurance companies, Wall Street, you look at the huge buildings. So think of those as tombs, and think of those as you parking your money in those tombs. Now, first and foremost, hopefully you're going to feel safe and secure because somebody's watching over it, or you hope, right?
Right.
That's what you hope. But so let's talk about the 4 financial institutions that are at King Tut Financial. First of all, we got the banks. And banks right now, incidentally, folks, as we record this show on December 2nd, 2020, many of you, we're getting a lot of business, Aaron. People are frustrated with low CD rates. And we have something called multi-year guaranteed annuities. We've been using these for years, but boy, they're popular now. And now this is as of the date of this recording. These rates change, folks. But right now, for instance, we've got one company, a large insurance company, that will guarantee your money. This is stuff that's for like CD rates and things, replacement, for 3 years, guaranteed, Aaron, at 2.4%. Now, for a saver, that is darn good. 10 years ago, we would have laughed at that. But so if you're listening to this right now and you've got money languishing in the bank, maybe money that you really don't need right now, maybe you've received an inheritance, maybe you're worried about the 2021. I mean, 2021, folks, financially, I don't know what's going to happen, but it could be really volatile is my concern. So maybe you've made some good money in the market and you want to take some of those winnings off the table and just lock in some gains for the next several years and quit trying to stockpile all this stuff and take all this risk. Put some of this in one of these MYGAs. We'd be happy to work with you and talk to you. Again, we have a lot of money we have moving over to these products. Again, as of the date of this recording, let me repeat, we have one company, 2.4% for 3 years. Again, those rates can change. So the best thing you do is just call us at Tony Walker Financial. We'll be happy to give you those rates over the phone. Just call us at 877-499-9255. Okay. So we've got the insurance companies, we've got Wall Street, we've got the banks, we've got the government. So really, Aaron, these folks are all out there encouraging us to put our money with them. And when you think of investments, even the government sells government bonds. We use government bonds a lot through our Schwab. Again, bank products, although they're not paying much, they're taking your money and they've got to have that money because they can loan it out and make interest on your money. Insurance companies, same way. If you buy car insurance, home insurance, annuities, life insurance, they're making money on your money, believe it or not, folks. They do well with that money. So, and then finally, we got Wall Street, who, in exchange for promising to grow your money or maybe to pay you dividends, unfortunately, with Wall Street, you are taking on potentially a lot of risk with your money. So what has been the message over the years from these institutions is basically what King Tut said. Hang on to it. Save it. You don't know when you might need it. Well, Aaron, that's all well and good when you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s maybe, but guess what I'm seeing with a lot of my clients who are now approaching mid to late 70s to 80s or even 90s? How much money do you think they're really needing to spend?
Probably not that much. I mean, they're probably not buying houses and all that kind of stuff.
What else is a 85-year-old probably not spending money on anymore? Traveling.
Okay.
Yeah. Disney World, I always kid about that, but they're not even, I wouldn't go to Disney World now, I'm to wear a mask, but in Disney World, we used to go down there all the time. You don't see many 80 and 85-year-olds walking around.
Okay.
So what happens is, folks, as you get older, you are going to want to have a game plan to start, like this gentleman here, Mr. Feeney, giving it away, getting mailbox money so you won't run out of money, but you don't want to keep stockpiling money. And then here's the last part of that problem, Aaron. If you save too much, and you don't give it away or use it and enjoying it while you can, there's always the threat of going in a nursing home or needing home health care. I've got a client, he and his wife, this gentleman passed away. I met with his kids the other day. His wife could no longer meet with me because now she's at home with basically dementia, and they have to have round-the-clock care for her. Guess how much they're spending per month to take care of her?
Oh, gosh.
You want to take a guess? What jumps out?
3,000.
10,000.
10,000? Mercy.
So, folks, you think about that. If you have yourself even, if you've got a loved one or somebody and you need $10,000 a month and that's how you're going to spend the last bit of your life using money for that, I mean, yeah, that's why you might want to buy some life insurance or long-term care. But there's a fear there. People have a fear they're living under. And what we would say is make plans now to use and enjoy this money. Certainly keep some back. You don't need $2 million like Mr. Feeney. Again, it's all relative, but keep some back, and preferably that money that you're keeping back is what we call your mailbox money so that you won't run out of money. I had the pleasure yesterday, Aaron, these people have been clients for years, and they've got some large annuities now, and they're getting in their 70s. I said, you know what? We got all these annuities. Let's take this one and start sending you some mailbox money. They said, they didn't even know how much it would be. They said, well, how much? And I said, well, in your case, it's going to be right at $50,000 per year. And they said, well, how long does it last? I said, that's the beauty of it, as long as you live. So King Tut Financial is not going to keep this money. We're going to pay it out to you. King Tut Financial, which in this case is the insurance company underwriting the annuity, is going to have to guarantee you an income for the rest of your life. Guaranteed. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's cool.
So, and also, if they don't need the money, here's my point. We're going to show them how to give that away tax-free to their kids and grandkids. And they just thought that was the coolest thing in the world because they've always kind of been protective or wanting to preserve that money for the next generation. See what I mean?
So you mean it's not automatically tax-free if it goes down to the kids?
That's a good point, Aaron. Yeah, so we had to remind them they've got this big chunk of money. It's in an IRA. At their death, when they leave it to the kids are going to have to pay taxes on every bit of it.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're paying taxes at a lower rate since we're taking it out now versus waiting to see what happens to the tax laws, which, in my opinion, have got to go up. And we're paying the tax now at their rate and giving it to the kids tax-free. So that sounds like something, you may be saying, well, Tony, nobody ever talks to me about it like that. That's probably because you're working with a financial King Tut. They don't want you to take the money out because that's how everybody's making money on your money. If you want to really talk with a fiduciary that really cares more about you than they do your money, who wants to see you use and enjoy this money before it's too late, why don't you give us an opportunity to talk? Incidentally, Aaron, we're getting a lot of feedback on this. This is working out great. We started this 10-minute free fiduciary phone call. This is a humdinger for you folks because what we found in looking at our website and what we call our analytics, a ton of people go to our website. Many people go on and fill out the Let's Get Started and send it in. But since we've started promoting just call us, you know how many phone calls we're getting now?
A lot.
It's crazy. And I think what we've found is a lot of people that are savers, they're just a little hesitant to go on these websites and start entering data. So if that's you, if you might be saying, no, I'd just rather get a phone call with you, Tony, or one of your other fiduciaries. It's a 10-minute free phone call. The way you set up an appointment, you can go online to set up your appointment at TonyWalkerFinancial.com. If you want to do that, just click on the Let's Get Started. Or you just give us a call at 877-499-9255, 877-499-WALK, and just tell the people that answer the phone there at Tony Walker Financial that you want a 10-minute fiduciary phone call. All right, when we come back, keeping in line with our Egyptian theme, I'm going to be talking about something called the Pyramid of Misdirection. How come the financial world keeps convincing us to stockpile more and more money and why that's probably not the best thing to be doing? I'm Tony Walker. I'll be right back. Who can you trust? It's one of the most important decisions you'll have to make. Question is, are you ready? Well, we're here to help at Tony Walker Financial. We care more about you than we do your money, and we have over 2,000 happy clients and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Rolling over a 401k, confused about Social Security, maybe you're afraid of running out of money. Learn how to use and enjoy and protect your hard-earned money. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started. Looking to roll over your 401k? Then log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and learn just how easy it is to roll over and safeguard your 401k. Do it today.
Call me old-fashioned, but I love the fact that my husband takes care of all the finances. But if something happened to him, where would I turn?
The grief associated with losing a spouse is hard enough. Don't make matters worse by not having a written game plan.
Don't leave your future to chance. Get a game plan now with one of the most experienced and trusted names in the business. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a pension buyout? Has the company you work for moved, been acquired, or closed its doors forever? And finally, do you have a 401k with a previous employer you'd like to move to safer territory? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k or lump sum pension to Tony Walker Financial. Let's meet in person to discuss your retirement options. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your free, no obligation appointment. Let us help you today. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. Aaron, speaking of finding King Tut's tomb, I think I just hit the jackpot. I may not be coming into work tomorrow after this one. You want to hear what happened?
Uh-oh.
I got a fax. This is true now. I just got it over the weekend. Avant-Garde Wealth Consulting Services, a gentleman by the name of Morn Bart. I don't know who this is personally, but apparently he was the advisor of a gentleman that lived in Spain who apparently died in an earthquake in China. How come everybody's blaming China for everything? Okay. In 2008, by the last name of Walker. This memo says, this fax, this random fax. Well, yeah, that's what he's saying. But he has got this scheme worked out where he says there's a safe deposit box. He's the advisor. He would know this. Has $9.3 million in it. I kid you not, folks. I've got the fax here, and I'm going to take advantage of this. And he's looking for someone with the last name of Walker. And I know there's millions of Walkers, but he chose me, Aaron. I am the lucky one. I get to choose to be with Mr. And what he's going to do, if I'll agree to just sign off, he says nobody's going to know that I'm not one of the heirs. I get half the winnings.
Half?
Half. I can't wait. Oh, wait a minute. It says something down here. It says that if I'm not interested, says not to share this. It's confidential.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bart. All right. Okay, folks, watch out. There's a lot of crazy stuff going out there. Be careful what you respond to. That was actually a fax I got. I thought that's pretty comical. Okay, what is the pyramid of misdirection? So what happens is the financial King Tuts of the world are going to instill in you the idea, Aaron, that you need more and more and more to be worry-free. And what we're saying is with the law of diminishing returns, that is actually worse. In fact, as we saw earlier with our gentleman that decided he wanted to die broke, he realized that you only need so much money. In his case, he needed $2 million. That's a lot to me, but he was also a billionaire before he gave it all away. All right, so the first line item of that pyramid of misdirection is what the financial world keeps telling you, is in order to make it, you've got to take more risk. You've probably heard that, haven't you, Aaron?
Yes.
And what's crazy about this is their logic is now, because people are living longer, see, I think you ought to take less risk if you're living longer. Because people are living longer, you should even take more risk. Well, to me, if you're taking more risks and you live longer, then the chances of running out of money just went up. Does that make sense, Aaron?
Okay.
If you stay in the casino too long, even though you've got a lot of money on the table, if you're in there a long time, there's a good chance you might lose it all. So that doesn't make any sense, but that's what they always tout, is you've got to take more and more risk. Also, you just need more and more money. You know, I've had more people come in, Aaron, and they're so discouraged because they've met with maybe a wealth manager or money manager. And a lot of these money managers won't even work with you unless you have $500,000. A lot of our clients don't have that kind of money. That's okay, folks. You can work with Tony Walker Financial. You don't have to have all this money. The next line item, more magic. As if there's a magic number, a magic age to take Social Security, a magic age to retire. Folks, this is all personal. That's why we meet with people in person. It depends on your situation. There is no magic bullet out there. More cost. And what we've discovered, the more money you make, the more people take. You've got to be careful with cost. That would be fees, interest, taxes. These are all things we can try to keep at a minimum. And finally, the financial world tends to instill in you more fear. The longer you live, the more money you have. Actually, what I've seen without a written game plan and without a sound philosophy, people actually become more fearful. So folks, if that's you, if you feel like, gosh, I don't really have anybody that's just logically taking me through a process that I can see where my money is, how I can enjoy it on a safe basis, and yeah, if I want to take a little risk, I'll do that. But that's what we're all about, folks. At Tony Walker Financial, I've been helping savers worry less about money for more than 36 years, and I'd like the opportunity to talk to you. So why don't you log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, click on that Let's Get Started, or if you like, give us a call at 877-499-WALK, 877-499-9255. Well, I'm Tony Walker. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. We'll look forward to talking to you next week on the Worry-Free Retirement. But between now and then, you remember, if all else fails, you be worry-free.
Shame on you. Funny, funny, funny what money can do.